this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So we are here for another one of our mass making sessions. We are up to week number 222. So for those people who don't watch my channel, we are doing reruns. So we did the first 100 weeks, we did another 100, and now we're on the third run of 100 weeks. So what are we making today? We are making long flap envelopes for your junk journals. Or junk journal long flap envelopes. So if you are wanting to mass make along today, what will you need? So you're going to need a bunch of paper. Now, I've bought along printables, and I say this every single week. That's because that's what I predominantly have these days. You do not have to bring along printables. You can bring along anything that you like. You could use, book page, sheet music. You could use magazine pages, anything you like, really. The only caveat that I would say is if you're using something thinner and flimsier, you're going to probably want to reinforce it or double it up. Again, not everybody will find that. I personally would do that because I would think that the pieces were going to possibly be, a little bit too flimsy. But, you may be somebody who really likes thinner pieces in your journals. You may be, much more confident of your ability not to tear things. So I have got printables printed on 250 GSM. Now this is photographic paper and it's 250 GSM, so it's a lot thicker, you can probably hear, than your normal copy paper. Now I do have at the back of this bundle, I've got several sheets of printables printed on thinner paper. This is 110 GSM, or I think it might be 120 actually GSM. So again, it's thicker. Normal copy paper tends to be 70 to 80. So this is still thicker, but it's nowhere near as thick as that photo quality paper that I'm using. And when we come to use this, then obviously I'll show you what I mean about sort of doubling it up. Now you don't have to have full sheets. I've got quite a few full sheets here, but I've also got some scraps here as well that we're going to kind of pull in. So in fact, I'll make a couple of prototypes just to show you how to make these using these scraps. So I'm going to just trim this down because obviously it's got a torn edge. So I'm just going to trim this down to the approximate width that I want this. And to be honest, once I've made this into an envelope, I might think actually it's still too wide. So we shall see. This has been coffee dyed on the back, and that's another thing that I would mention. Is obviously these are envelopes and you're going to see the inside of the paper. So if you are using, the copy paper or the, the sheet music or something like that, we're going to be folding or, doubling this over so that the inside's got a decorative inside. If you're using something like this that you've printed out, you may want to coffee dye the back, or you may want to kind of, print it double-sided or something so you've got something decorative on the inside. But again, the choice is yours, and, you might not mind yours being white on the inside. Mine has been coffee dyed just so it's, it's looking kind of more attractive. And then literally, once you've got your slither, so you're going, the shape you're looking for is a tall rectangle. All we're doing is we're going to fold it up to form a sort of pocket at the bottom. So this is your envelope pocket, or your envelope pocket. And then these are long flap envelopes, so you're going to make a long flap like that for your envelope, and that is literally all there is to these. So squish them down. Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't tell you what else you would need, did I? So sorry about that. I've had a few things going on, and memory blank now. So you will need scissors or a trimming board, paper trimmer or something. I like to have a glue spreader. That's just to kind of mop out the excess glue or anything. You may want to have a wipe. I like to have some dried wet wipes to hand just to mop up the glue. And then the glue that I'm using the Beacon 3-in-1. You can use any glue that you like. You could also stitch these, but in the mass making I try to avoid stitching where I can, because I want to try and make these very accessible for as many people as possible. Optional extras for these would be things like, you may want a corner rounder or something. You may want some ink to ink around the edges of your envelopes, but they are optional extras. So, you know, completely up to you. So I'm just going to show you how we're going to kind of finish this off and, you know, form it into our envelope. So I'm going to just round the corners here like that. You know, I don't always round the corners. Sometimes I think these look nice, you know, just as they are with squared off corners. And then all you're going to do is with your glue, going to just pop a very slim bit of glue, oops, along here. Now, if you were doing these on the sewing machine, then what you're going to do is literally a stitch here, a run of stitches here, and then turn it round. You know, I would personally pull it out from the sewing machine and then turn it round and do a run of stitches down here. And that's going to secure your envelope, you know, bottom like that. And then, you know, to secure these or hold them closed, it's completely up to you. I mean, you could use things like, you know, you could just use a paper clip there. Oops. Like that. You could have a policy closure on here to wrap around. You could use some string or something to tie it round. Completely and utterly up to you. And you know, we'll have a look kind of when we come to decorate one of these at the end. We'll have a look at maybe some closure ideas and things then. But yeah, that's literally all there are, or all there is to these. Could not be any easier than they are. So I'm just going to put that to one side, and I'll run you through one more, again using some you know, thicker paper. And then what we'll do, we'll make one using the thinner paper, so I can just show you kind of what I think is quite a nice way to do, to, you know, to make them very quickly. So for this one, just going to fold it up. And the other thing is, just kind of take note of if your paper's directional. I mean, this is directional, but it's not hugely directional, if you see what I mean. I mean, it's just a damask page. And so, of course, this could go up the other way, you know, if I chose to. Obviously, this has got birds on. This would be a lot more disastrous if I'd put this upside down. So pick your direction if need be. Fold your flap up again like that. And just squish that in. And then again, just pull your flap down like that. Okay. This one, obviously, my printer's not really printed borderless, so I'm just going to cut it down here. And the other thing that I was going to say is this one, I'm doing as a slightly wider one. So the one that I did previously, it was quite narrow, but there's no reason why you couldn't do these, you know, wider. I've not made a straight job of cutting that edge, so I'll just quickly try and neaten that up slightly more. There we go. Like that. Okay, and that is literally it. And then exactly the same as we did with the last one, just pop a run of glue like that and like that. Oops. Like that, and then just glue that down. And then, like I say, completely, you know, personal choice really. If you want to round your flap corners or not, you may want to round the corners up here or down here, you know, completely up to you to vary your piece and, you know, change it around. So that's literally all there is to them. I'm going to show you one more as the kind of prototypes, or, you know, the ones that the examples, and that one will be using thinner paper. So we're going to kind of double it up so as you can see just, you know, how I would alter them to use thinner paper. So I will just show you that. Okay, so this is, like I say, 120 GSM. So, I mean, it is quite a bit thicker than your, you know, regular copy paper. But regular copy paper, I'm so sorry, I don't seem to be able to speak this morning. Regular copy paper would be fine too. But obviously it's going to be thinner. So that's just something to bear in mind. So I think the easiest way to make these is, you know, providing that you're wanting kind of bigger envelopes, is just, oh, please excuse the back of this. This is my Easter papers. And I'm so sorry, I haven't been telling you what papers I'm using. I do apologise. This was from the Regency collection, and this is from my new damask collection, which are the pale damask collection. And it's, yeah, they are on my Etsy shop. So this, I would just take the entire A4 sheet and just fold it straight over like that, and that's it. So just literally fold it over and then just take your glue and obviously spread your glue to hold the papers closed. Now, the only thing that I would say is you might find that this is a little bit too wide, just going straight over like this. So what you might want to do is trim it down on the side once it's actually kind of, you know, in the envelope shape, if you see what I mean. So I'm just going to glue it down like that, and oops, obviously take my glue spreader, oops, it's now up on my shelf, right, there we go. Take my glue spreader, spread all the glue out just to make sure that it's glued down well. Okay, like that. Okay, and then just take your envelope and fold up where you want your flap to be, like that. Okay, and then take your, what's going to be your flap, and bring it down like that. Okay, and just again squish that down like that. Okay, so I mean, this makes quite a nice envelope. And then where I said you could then trim it down, you know, if you think that this is a bit wide, I mean, actually, to be honest, I think this looks, you know, pretty nice size. But if you did think that was a bit wide, you could just trim it here now, like that. Oops, not quite like that. Maybe get yours a bit straighter than mine. Oh, my trimming is not going very well. There we go. And then obviously, again, exactly as we have with the others, just glue your pocket part of the envelope down there, like that. Okay. Like that. And oops, hold on a second. There we go. Like that. So sorry about all that pinging. My family are having like a group chat, so yeah, it's just pinging and pinging. Let me just try and reply. Hold on. Right, okay. So that's that one. I mean, you can see it's still sort of big-ish, but I mean, I think that's kind of a perfect size, really. And just to show you, you know, the first one that we did, that's the kind of size comparison. So it just depends really how you want them. I mean, personally, I think that might be a little bit kind of small for sticking on the page because it wouldn't take up so much space. This one, I love this kind of size for taking up plenty of room on the page. But it's all just kind of personal, you know, personal preference. Again, you could then, you know, round your corners like that. Obviously, this one, we just folded it over to make the paper double-sided. You don't have to fold it over. You could, of course, line, you know, the inside with something different. I just think this is a really nice, quick way to do it. So again, you know, completely up to you really how you do them. So we're going to just mass make some now. And for those people who don't watch the mass making, when I say mass make, I really just mean kind of assembly line style. So doing all the same stages at the same stages, if that makes sense. And, you know, we can just have a really nice relax and a catch up and, yeah, just have a nice time for the next sort of 45 minutes or so. Right, okay, so this one here, I mean, again, I'm not saying this isn't directional. It kind of, you know, it is sort of directional. So what you could do is do the fold in half, and then you'd get two quite tall sized envelopes from this page. So just to kind of give you, you know, a couple of other ways to do them really. Just before we go on to the assembly line, sorry, it suddenly occurred to me when I saw this sat there and I thought, oh, this is, you know, quite a good one to actually be able to demonstrate this. So I'm going to tear this down because that's a nice quick way to obviously get this down. And then when I fold them into the envelopes, I can obviously just trim this furry edge down from the folding. But again, then just, you know, fold this up here and then your long flap over like that. And then obviously what we've got is, you know, more similar size to this one. To be honest, I've, you know, brought my flap down much longer than that one. But just to give you kind of ideas really of other things to do or other ways to do them. So I'm just going to quickly trim that down across there like that. There we go. So, yep, we're just going to kind of assembly line now and, yeah, just have a relax and a catch up. So I'm going to just cut all my paper first and then fold them all so that I'm doing all the stages, like I said, you know, in one sort of hit, really. So I hope everybody's week has started out well. For those guys who don't watch my channel, I generally film these on a Monday, ready to go out for you guys on the Tuesday. So my week has literally only just started. Oh, I'm so sorry again. I've not been telling you what I'm using, so I'm so sorry. This was the Yellow Roses collection, and this was again the new Pale Damask collection, the 2nd edition one, and this one is again the Regency collection. Now I'm just going to take this little strip off here like that. There we go. So yeah, what is the weather doing here? Well, it is quite sunny today. It looks like a really gorgeous day. I have to say, when I first came in here, obviously I was kind of gathering my pieces and my bits ready to do the video, and then I just do a quick like rewatch of the original one just to make sure that I remember, you know, how to make them and things. It was really, really bright first thing, and then yeah, it kind of then went a bit drab, and I thought, oh gosh, we're now going to have, you know, another rubbish day. But actually the sun's come back out now and it looks absolutely lovely out there. So yeah, hopefully it's going to be a nice day. What's the weather been doing generally? Well, weirdly, last week we had like absolutely lovely weather, you know, about time, because obviously, you know, we're coming up to the end of June now, and you know, the weather still hadn't been very good, but we finally did have quite nice weather. And then at the weekend, was really looking forward to, you know, some nice weather at the weekend. And I'm just going to do one in kind of each paper so that it's not really boring, and then you're just looking at, you know, all the same. Actually, I might do this one, 2 long ones, because I quite like those bigger ones. Yeah, was really looking forward to a lovely sunny weekend, and oh my goodness, I don't know what happened, but the weather was just not very good at all again at the weekend. So Saturday I can't even remember. Oh gosh, I can't remember, to be honest. Why can't I remember? I can't remember what I did on Saturday. I can't remember what the weather looked like. It's like a blank. I've got no recollection of the Saturday at all. And then Sunday, yeah, again, not great. I mean, you know, it was all right. We still kind of got out yesterday. It was one of those lovely sausage walks. So the sausage dog walks at the beach. But yeah, I'll tell you about that in a second. So, yeah, anyway, other news was it was my daughter's sports day. That was on Friday. So yeah, that was kind of like, you know, I thought, well, you know, the weather's not too bad for that. And then it was absolutely boiling. So yeah, kind of strange sort of unsettled week, because the weather wasn't really matching what the weather forecast was saying. So on the Friday, it hadn't said, I don't think, on my app, it hadn't said it was going to be great. But yeah, I went to, my daughter said there was an early part and a late part for the sports day, and she said, oh, you can come either at, it's like 9:30 to 11:30 or like 1:15 to 3:15. So I said, well, which would you rather I come to? So she said, oh, all the morning, you know, I'd prefer you come to the morning because that's the competitive part. So I said, fine, okay, I will do that. So I said, what is it you're doing? So she said, I'm doing the 200 meters. So I said, fine, okay. So she's 10. Now I have to say, she, unfortunately, poor her, she takes after my lack of sporting ability, and yeah, just kind of not gifted in the whole sporting ability, let's just say. So anyway, when she said she was doing the 200 meters, I mean, I kind of thought, wow, she's being quite daring, and she was very cheerful and very up for it. Anyway, so she was doing that, and yeah, she said come to the competitive part, which was the morning. So I'd looked on the the weather app, and it it didn't look brilliant, but having said that, it had got quite warm every day previously. So I thought, well, wear like a summer dress and maybe a cardigan and a denim jacket, just so it's got layers. Well, would you believe 9:30 this started, and by like 9:45 it was roasting, absolutely boiling. Sorry, I've again not been telling you. I'm so sorry about this. So this is my, these two, sorry, are my Paris collection papers. This is my lace collection in the pinks and purples. This, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. It's one of those days. Hang on a second, sorry. Oh, I am so sorry about this. What a disaster today's turning out to be. So this is my lace collection in the blues and greens. This is again the Regency collection, and this is my new hydrangea collection, which I have to say I have used quite a bit already, and I'm really loving using it. Right, okay, so I'm going to leave it there because we've got quite a few here, and by the time that I kind of like fold them in and trim them down and things, and then we decorate one, this is probably kind of all I've got time to do. Anyway, so where was I? Yes, by 9:45 it was boiling, and I sat with my friend kind of on the school field, and oh my goodness, it was just absolutely lovely. So it got to, I don't know, like 11 o'clock, and I thought, do you know what, the weather's so nice, maybe we should go camping this weekend. So I messaged my son, who was at work, and said, oh, would you like to go camping this weekend, with me and your sister? So he took ages to reply. So in the meantime, she came over in between one of her races, and I said to her, oh, it's gorgeous weather. Shall we go camping? Get our tent out and go camping. No, she said. That was what she said. That was her response, was just no. I said, oh, wouldn't you like that? I think we'd have fun. No, Mum, I don't want to do that. So I was like, oh, boring, Anyway, so I thought, well, I see what my son says. If he comes back and says yes, then we're still going to go. Because, we'll have a nice time when we get there. We could obviously take Bo, my lovely sausage dog. And I thought, oh, we'll have a good time. And it will feel like we're on holiday. So anyway, he finally messaged back, and he just said to me, no, Mum, have you seen the weather forecast for tomorrow morning? So again, I don't know what's going on with my weather app, and I don't want to kind of diss the weather app or anything, but yeah, it was saying it was going to be fine, So I was like, no. So he said, oh, it's supposed to be, really awful, like overnight and tomorrow morning. So anyway, I kind of just obviously left it. And then that night, he went out with a friend, and they'd gone down the beach. Was I asleep by the time he got in? I can't remember, to be honest. Anyway, that was that. Overnight, it was absolutely chucking it down. So yeah, really, really, really raining. Saturday morning, got up and went to the gym. It was still chucking it down. And then my son, he said down the beach it was freezing. They had like fish and chips and stuff, and he said it was absolutely freezing down there. And he said, seriously, Mum, because where the beach is was where we would have gone camping in the tent. It's quite close to our, where we live. And, it would have just been no drama to go there. And he said, oh, seriously, Mum, if you'd have gone camping, he said, you'd have come home. After sort of a while, you'd have just come home, because it was so horrible. It was so cold. He said, you'd have been like, oh, can't warm up, let's just go home. So, yeah, lucky that we didn't do that, to be honest, because, I mean, who wants to go camping when it's cold? Who wants to go camping when it's wet? I mean, even worse than when it's cold. And then, yeah, just how disappointing would that have been? Because obviously, you know, to go even just camping, it's not that cheap. I mean, like if we'd have gone for 2 nights, it was 35 or 39 pounds a night. So it would have been kind of 80 pounds for the 2 nights, plus obviously, you know, get down there, probably have like fish and chips for dinner and all those things. So I mean, it would have ended up, you know, costing quite a lot of money, and you know, for literally a rubbish experience. So yeah, thank the Lord we did not do that, because I was all up for it. You know, at the sports day I was like, oh, I'm gonna go home and dig the tent out. You know, I mean, we haven't used our tent since like COVID. So yeah, I don't know. Let's hope it's all still in good condition. I'm sure it is. But yeah, I probably would have then struggled to find everything, and you know, it would have been quite a rigmarole, to be honest, and what a waste of time if the weather had then been rubbish. But yeah, what a shame. And then, like I say, Saturday, I don't seem to even be able to remember what I did or anything else on Saturday. I don't know why that's just gone into like a blur in my mind. That's just so weird. I literally cannot remember what I was actually doing at all. Oh, I do remember. There was like a sort of fete thing, and we went to that, yeah, with my mum and dad and my sister, her son, and me and my daughter. Yeah, and actually, I mean, it wasn't really hot, but it was okay. We sat outside and it was okay. I mean, not what you'd hope for, obviously, this time of year, but it was okay. So yeah, that's what we did on Saturday. I just couldn't remember. It's like, what did we do? Yeah, that's what we did. And that was just like in the afternoon. In the morning, I just did some work, and yeah, it was okay. Now, do I want to keep those kind of blue edges? They're kind of nice, aren't they? But actually, I think I'm going to trim it slightly narrower. Yeah, so that was Saturday. And then Sunday, so my daughter was going out with Natalie and her son. And then there was a sausage dog walk down the beach where my son had gone on the Friday night, the beach that's near where we would have gone camping. So yeah, we were going on the sausage walk. So that's why my daughter ended up going out, was because she's very lazy. She hates walking. And yep, I'd said to her, oh, you know, sausage walk. Oh, what? She didn't want to go, obviously. So I said, oh, come on, you know, Bo would really, really love it. And, you know, so we do normally go on them. I mean, unless there's something going on and I can't go, I do, you know, I do generally go on them. So anyway, she didn't want to go. So, you know, she went out with Natalie and her son. As it then happens, the sausage walk I'd got wrong. I mean, story of my life, really. So I'd got that wrong. I thought it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Turned out it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So, of course, they were back anyway. So, you know, I messaged Natalie and said, I'm just on my way there. Why don't you come? So she did come. And then, obviously, the kids did come. So, yeah, my daughter ended up having to come anyway. Anyway, they didn't moan about it. I think they had an okay time, her and, you know, Natalie's son. Anyway, when we got there, so it was quite cold. And again, you know, it was 4 o'clock. So I left my house at kind of like 3:10 to get there, just in case there was kind of traffic or anything. I mean, it really isn't very far, but, you know, you never can tell with the traffic. So I'm going to kind of glue them down, and then I'm going to decide where I might want to do any rounding. So, what were we saying? What were we saying? Oh, sorry. I've dropped my wipe now on the floor. I thought that was another wipe there, but it was just some tissue. Right. Let me just pick my wipe up. Right. Okay. There we go. Yeah. So anyway, as the afternoon was going by, so I just spent the day working, and my son had gone out with a friend, and my other son, he had gone away for the weekend with his girlfriend. Anyway, so I spent the day working, and then it was about 2 o'clock, and it suddenly got quite black, and I thought, oh my goodness, it's now going to rain. We're not even going to go on the sausage walk. Anyway, thankfully, it didn't rain. You know, the weather kind of like held off, and it was okay. But I have to say, it was not very warm. You know, it was pretty chilly. So, I mean, I put on my jeans and like a short sleeve top for if I got warm. And then I had like a you know, a long sleeve jumpery type thing over the top, and my jacket just in case it got chillier still. Anyway, we got down to the beach. Now, the beach where I go to is called West Wittering, and it's a really, really, really lovely beach, I have to say. We are very, very lucky to have such a lovely beach near us. And, you know, yeah, it's, I don't know whether it's, you know, one of the top beaches now. I don't know. But, you know, when they do the not the competitions, but the rankings or whatever, it often is like one of the best beaches. So, you know, in the UK anyway. Or in England, perhaps not the UK, but anyway. So we're very lucky because we live quite near it. So it's about 10 miles from where we are. So anyway, there is often a lot of traffic to get to that beach. And when you get to the actual, you know, the actual beach, to get to the car park, it can get very, very queued up. I mean, to be honest, if it's like, say, a really boiling hot summer's day, it can be queued up for my entire journey, i.e. that whole 10 miles, sometimes queued up even beyond there. So it's a very, very, very popular beach. You know, people come down from London and come down for the day to it. And, you know, it's a very busy beach. Anyway, would you believe the traffic was like that yesterday? It wasn't like the 10 miles. No, that's not true. But the traffic coming out of the car park when I got down there, because obviously I wasn't going till late, the traffic was already like that coming out of the beach. So, I mean, I assume the traffic had been quite bad, probably going to the beach. I mean, just crazy, because it was actually quite cold. So, anyway, I got into the car park and everything and, you know, met up with all the other people on the sausage walk. And then Natalie turned up, obviously, with the kids. And, you know, we did the walk. I had a lovely time. And actually, to be fair, I don't think we left there until about 5:30. And to be... you know, to be fair, the weather was then much improving. It really did get much warmer and, you know, really did improve by the afternoon or, you know, by the evening. But I left the car park. Oh, well, first of all, you know, yeah, just very much of a shame because all those people who'd obviously gone down, like for the whole day, you know, I presume some of them had perhaps travelled for miles and things. The fact they'd obviously gone there. And I'd spoken to a couple of people on the sausage walk who'd come about an hour's drive away. And they said where they lived, it was quite sunny. So, you know, like presumably a lot of people had left coming down to the beach for the day thinking it was going to be lovely weather. Actually, to find that it was probably nicer where they lived. But the other thing is they've made it all obviously so complicated and, you know, have to pay for parking. Like, you know, well, you've always had to pay for parking, but... now you have to like pre-book your parking online and stuff like this. So, you know, it's all made it very complicated. So I'm guessing that perhaps some people had booked their parking during the week because sometimes you know, it says the car park's sold out and you can't get a space at all. So I'm thinking that some people had possibly, you know, booked their parking during the week when it was looking like this gorgeous weather, you know, like I nearly booked our camping, only to then get there yesterday and find that actually it was pretty cold. So what a shame for anyone who'd done that. So, yeah, that was a bit of a shame. Anyway, we came out of the car park. So, you know, my sister obviously went with her son and, you know, my daughter by this time obviously came in my car. We'd met them, so, you know, they'd met me at the beach. Anyway, we then drove like down the road and we probably got like, I don't know, 1.5 miles down the road. And suddenly it was literally... bumper to bumper traffic. Now this is what happens on a really, really, really sunny day, is you get bumper to bumper traffic, like I say, for maybe like 10 miles. So the fact it had started like 1.5 miles from the beach, that traffic would have gone right up to the roundabout, which is like, you know, 7 miles away. So it was like, oh my goodness, we're going to be sat in traffic for about 2 hours. Now luckily there are some alternative routes which, you know, thankfully only kind of local people really know about. So we were able to kind of like do a detour and, you know, turn around, do a detour and go down these alternative routes, which I mean takes you quite a way out of your way, but I mean obviously you're not then sat in traffic. So yeah, probably took us like half an hour to get home instead of, you know, if you had a clear run you could do it in like 15 minutes. So yeah, anyway, that was that. But I just felt so bad for these people who had obviously, you know, pre-booked their parking possibly during the week, you know, or come down because it was lovely weather where they lived. And, you know, then it was obviously freezing and not very nice at the beach at all. So, yeah. Anyway, and then, you know, was saying about it, obviously, with my son and saying, you know, what a disappointment, because the weather had been so lovely during the week that, you know, isn't that typical that at the weekend then it was just so miserable. Well, lo and behold, today the sun is now shining again. You know, like I say, it did look a bit overcast earlier, but now it appears to be sunny again. And someone at the gym this morning said to me, oh yeah, it's supposed to be lovely the next couple of days. Tomorrow's supposed to be absolutely boiling. I mean, oh, how disappointing. You know, that obviously we're all at work in the week, and then at weekends, you know, when everyone's kind of hoping to obviously get some sunshine and do some nice things, and then it's rubbish weather. I don't know what is going on this summer, but anyway, you know, disappointing for everybody, I'm sure. Okay, right. So yeah, share below, what's the weather like where you are? Hopefully it's a little bit better than it is where we are. There we go. Right. Okay. So now going to just round some corners and things. And you know, I said about, you know, you could round the corners here. So just to show you, you know, just as an alternative look for your envelope, I personally probably wouldn't round the corners on the flap now. Well, I say I wouldn't. Maybe I should. I don't feel like I would, but yeah, you could always do them on the, you know, the flap as well. But, you know, up to you really. But just to give you some different kind of ways to round your corners, you know, you don't have to always go for here. You know, you could also, oops, you could also round the corners at the bottom. So like for this one, we could just round the corners here, just to give you some different looks really. If you've got one of those, you know, the decorative edge punch things, they used to be like a strip punch, you could go along the whole sort of bottom of your envelope and do that decorative edge. Or maybe you've got one of those decorative edge things for your big shot, you could put it through and do that kind of thing. So yeah, you've got some different alternatives that you could be doing. I'm just going to do a few different looks here. So that was our weekend. Aside from that, have we done anything else interesting or exciting? Probably not, if I'm truthful. Oh gosh, yeah, nothing really. Trying to eat a bit healthy at the moment. So yeah, I've bought some salad things and trying to have salads and stuff like that. So I've had a smoothie this morning. I mean, I do kind of go in and out with my smoothies, if I'm truthful. I tend to have them for like a few weeks, and then, I mean, I probably just get bored. But yeah, don't then have a smoothie for a while. But at the moment, I'm kind of trying to be good and have smoothies. So yeah, I've had a smoothie now today. I do quite like a smoothie, to be honest. You know, but yeah, just sometimes I kind of like, you know, forget and don't have them. You know, not forget the smoothies, but kind of forget that I'm being healthy. And you only need 1 or 2 days to stop having them. And then it's like, oh, forgotten now that I was trying to be healthy. Okay, let's do this one. Yeah, I think I'll do the bottom corners like that. Okay. There we go. Right. Let's just move the stuff. Okie dokie. So as you can see, we've got obviously a few different ones. Oh, I only did one actually of the paper one. I mean, that's just a nice kind of different alternative, but you know, I think they're all quite nice. So which one shall we decorate up then? Kind of thinking maybe the green. Yeah, should we do the green? Let's do that. Right, let's move these out the way. Well, I'm just going to count how many we've done while I've... Oh, sorry, everything's fallen down. Hang on. Right, so I'm back. So after that, dropping all my stuff off my shelf beside my desk, And I've picked up loads of things from the floor. This wasn't all on the floor. I did have a couple of things up here on the desk, but yeah, quite a bit of that was on the floor. So I've got things now to decorate with. So that's all a good thing. Right, I'm just going to ink my envelope up slightly. I mean, to be honest, I don't know really whether it needed it, but I have coffee dyed obviously the inside, so I just feel like, you know, a bit of inking on the edge matches the coffee dye on the inside quite nicely. So that's that. Now I have got, like I say, a bunch of things that I sort of just found on the floor. So I'm just going to try some of these. So these are my vintage toppers pieces. So just see if any of those might look pretty. I mean, to be honest, they all look quite pretty, don't they? I mean, again, what you could do is have something like this here as a closure. And obviously tuck your flap into the closure, so you just glue it down on this section and then you just tuck your flap in like that. So, you know, just a few more ideas there. You know, we said about, you know, closures, and obviously so far we've just explored the paperclip. I just thought that I would mention, you know, that you could definitely have a tuck in, you know, tuck-in closure. Well, that boot's quite nice there, isn't it? That's from my vintage shoes. Got these. I wish that I had printed off some of these in bigger sizes. Unfortunately my printer is out of action at the moment, so yeah, I can't do any other printing, so all I've got is what I've got here. So I do have this. Oh, I don't know now. Let me just see. Oh, I've got a heart. This was also on the floor. I mean, that's quite pretty, isn't it? Could have something like that, I suppose. And maybe just, could even just have some flowers tucked in behind it. Oh, that's very pretty. Yeah, could just have that. Oops. That as the, you know, the tuck behind closure. And that's quite pretty, isn't it? What do we think? Or I have got some clusters here. So I've got this one. This again was on the floor. This one. That's quite nice. Got some other clusters up here. Let's just see if I've got any better colour matches. Probably worse, but oh, no, definitely not that one. That's quite pretty. Got that one. Oh my goodness, what about that one? Yeah, maybe that one. Okay. Yeah, love how that looks. So we could put that down there. We could then have, or maybe just a butterfly or something just here. Actually, I've got some of my butterflies here printed out, so let's just see if we've got any that would be a good colour match. Of course I'm not going to have, am I? Because it's always that we've got everything but the one thing that we do need. So let's just have a quick look here. Oh, I also brought along my 4-page fussy cuts just in case I wanted anything like that there. Let's just try that. Just wondering whether I might prefer sort of a more, you know, I don't know what the word would be, but anyway, I might prefer the typewriter, so let's just take this. So this is my 4-page fussy cuts. It's, again, this is the second set. So yeah, I've used these quite a lot, I have to say, since I made these, which were quite recent. Okay. Oh, I just want to say thank you as well to everyone who's placed an order over the last week or so. Really do appreciate it. I have had a few messages about a few things that are out of stock on my shabbydabbydoodah.co.uk website. So, yeah, I've definitely got a few more things going in there over the next couple of days. I've made quite a lot of fabric covers over the weekend, so I will be putting some more fabric covers in. And yeah, what else have I made? There's quite a few things I think that I've got going in. So yeah, do check out over the next couple of days, you know, just have a look on there, and hopefully it will all be restocked. So yes, I do apologise for obviously the slow speed for that. Oh, should we do something like that? And then let's take this butterfly here maybe. Just ink around the edges here. Okay. Oh, how cute does that look? And we just have the, yeah. So these roses, they're from my perfume fussy cuts. Let's just glue this down. Okay. Yeah, it's always fun to put something totally unexpected, isn't it? So, you know, this kind of feels like an unexpected choice, really, compared to that perfume bottle, which felt more like a predictable kind of choice. I don't know whether you guys would think that or not, but yeah. Okay. And I haven't been watching anything, I'm afraid. Yeah, just been kind of busy and not really watching anything. I've dipped in and out of series, you know, that I've just kind of had on whilst I've been in bed normally watching, you know, whilst I'm doing things on my laptop or, you know, making stuff. So I haven't really kind of focused or watched anything, I've got to be honest. There's not really been anything kind of grabbing me, which is a bit of a shame. And there's been nothing on at the cinema, so that's really a shame. So we've not really kind of, you know, done anything. I mean, I couldn't honestly even tell you what I've been watching. You know, the TV's been on, but I've barely kind of heard it. I've had a few, you know, gruesome sort of murdery documentaries from Amazon Prime, you know, like on serial killers and things like that. You know, which of course is not great entertainment to be sharing with everybody, but you know, that's just yeah, what's kind of like come on. But you know, obviously I've selected it, but yeah, I haven't overly watched it, and I haven't kind of, you know, seen anything that I would think, oh, I'd recommend that or anything like that. So yeah, not really got anything to recommend, unfortunately. Right, there we go. Right, just going to dab this onto my desk. I know that's like really messy, but just because, you know, when you've got like thin bits there, the glue's going to kind of really seep out a lot. So by just dabbing it off on the desk, I'm just kind of eliminating some of the glue that otherwise will just, you know, be quite messy otherwise. Potentially messy. Okay, so that looks good. Now, do we want to put the rose like on some lace, or just have it kind of like that? Or do we want to have the rose as a closure? I quite like the rose as a closure, to be honest. I just want to quickly show you actually as well that I found these two on the floor. So these are my lace clusters, and I definitely, you know, have some of these in my shop, I think, at the moment. And yeah, we'll be putting some more of these in. I love these lace clusters. They're so pretty and just, oh, they make everything gorgeous. You can just pop them on the side of a page or, you know, wherever. But I also thought these would be lovely on these envelopes. Not this, obviously, because I've already put the typewriter and things. But to be honest, you could just have these just on an envelope. It doesn't even need anything else, does it? That just looks absolutely gorgeous, just exactly like that. And then, you know, you could even then just hook this over a page, not have it glued in or anything, but just clip that with a paper clip up here and have that hooked onto a page. And that's just a really scrumptious, that also looks lovely, doesn't it? Really scrumptious, you know, little piece to put into a journal. So yeah, any of those things. You could also, let me just quickly demonstrate. You could get some sari silk. Oops, hang on. Let's pull some in. And I mean, you don't have to use sari silk. You could use twine. You could use string. You know, anything you like. I think in the week 122, I think I did do some with twine or string, but just to kind of give you an idea, you could put some sari silk, oops, sari silk going around like that as a closure. I mean, to be honest, they don't even need a closure, you know, but just to give you some options. So you could do something like that. I think in the week 122, I actually did the closure this way round, just as an alternative look. So you could do the closure that way round, and that will give you, you know, completely different look. And, you know, they're just very small changes, aren't they? But, you know, surprising how different those things look. So like that. Also, you could put like a Velcro dot here, and then it would just Velcro dot down. So all different things that you could do. You could have a magnet, you know, magnetic closure. So that would look very, very cute. And actually what you could do is, let me see if I can do this now. Let's give this a try. So I'll just get my magnets in. I haven't used my magnets for a long time. Oops, I can't even see them now. Magnets. Yep. So what you could do is, if you've got your magnets here, oops. Oh gosh, I've got 3 there now. Come on. Oops. Right. You could get your magnets, and then what you could do is you could just have them, like, if I glue one here on the page. So if I just glue this down here, okay, and then, oops, probably needed to have that a bit higher if I'm truthful, but, and then you could put your other magnet here like that. So as you're covering the bottom one up with the flower like that, so if I just glue this down like that, okay, oops, got not to glue that down there. Okay, so we've covered the magnet up, and then here pop your other magnet down, which obviously, you know, it wants to just glue down on there already, and then just a little dab of glue here. I'm just going to ink the bottom of this where it's going to be obviously showing, and then just pop your glue on here. Okay. Right, I've mucked this up a bit because I didn't need to put glue there, so let me just wipe that glue off. I mean, the glue wipes off reasonably well, so not all glues do, but hot glue, if you rub it, you can normally get it off more or less. So yeah. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Okay. Oh, come on. A little bit more. Okay. And then just, yeah, go down like that. And then you've got like a little magnetic closure, which is, you know, just another alternative really, which looks quite pretty, doesn't it? And then could just put butterfly maybe there. And then I think, just to finish this off really nicely, let's take that sari silk. Let's cut that edge off. Okay. And I'm thinking just add a little ruffle of sari silk straight down the bottom of here, or even on the top. No, the bottom I think. So yeah, we'll just pop some hot glue here. Just never gets old, this whole ruffling the sari silk, does it? I really love it. It's still my favourite way to use sari silk. So that one, and then here like that. Okay, oops, oh dear, I've mucked that up a little bit, but never mind. I mean, it still looks fine. And then just trim out, obviously, on the edges, just to make it look a little bit more uniform. There we go. I mean, how pretty does that envelope look? It's very different, isn't it? Yeah, just kind of decided to do that. I have also been playing with my lovely whale tail punch, which the lovely Michelle, who runs our Facebook group, bought me. So I just have got these whale tail punchies. I had wanted one of these for ages, and they'd discontinued them, didn't they, and things. So yeah, anyway, the lovely Michelle, she purchased me one. So you could then have a little tab on the side as well, which I think that would look really cute. So let's just pop some fabric tack on there. Like that. And just pop that down here. Like that. Okay, let me just squish that down together. I've obviously moved the envelope so the glue doesn't seep out and just get all over the envelope. Okay, like that. Oh my goodness, isn't this so cute? Absolutely love that envelope. So these are our long flap envelopes for junk journals. Let me see whether I have a page that I could just kind of demonstrate how you would use this. Or do I have a junk journal on the go? Well, kind of. So this is a page ready for a junk journal. So I'm just going to pull this in. So if I were to glue this onto this page, for example, I would just probably glue it on 3 sides and pop it down, and you'd have it as a, you know, side loading pocket then, as well as obviously, you know, your envelope there. Or another alternative that I would find quite nice to use is just literally 2 sides, and then you'd have it as, you know, quite a large sort of tuck spot behind, which I think would also be really, really nice. So yeah, I hope that you feel inspired. I hope that's given you some ideas and, you know, some inspiration for making some of your own. I really hope that you enjoy making them and have a lot of fun making them. And yeah, don't forget to keep your eyes peeled on my website for my restock, which will be in the next couple of days. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you all have a fantastic few days until my next video. Really appreciate it if you could give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks then. Bye.